According to Norse mythology, existence starts off as an archetypal chaos, Ginnungagap, the wide, yawning emptiness of undifferentiated pre-creation soup. But there's also a separating out into a hot and fiery place, Muspelheim, and a cold, misty place, Niflheim. Well, in the middle of Niflheim, a spring known as Ymir, the bubbling cauldron, forms, and 11 rivers flowed southward from it toward Muspelheim. Well, when the edge of these rivers met the heat coming from Muspelheim, a sort of venomous, frothy ice formed and bubbled. And one can almost think of this as the first act of reproduction, because it's out of this that we get the first being. A giant named Ymir forms out of drops of melted foam venom where the hot air meets the cold air. Also from these elements and from the thawed ice, another primordial being forms. A cow named Audhumla, the nourisher, and the milk that Audhumla produces nourishes Ymir. Now Ymir is sort of a sexually ambiguous figure, because he produces a race of beings all by himself from his drops of sweat. This is the race of frost giants, known as the Jotnar, the first race to exist. Audhumla, for her part, sustains herself by licking the salty ice, and in this process of licking, over time, she creates, or unearths, the great-grandfather of the gods. This is Buri, and Buri somehow begets a son whom he names Bor, and Bor one day meets and eventually marries one of the lady frost giants who had come from Ymir. That's Bestla, and Bor and Bestla have 3 sons, Odin, Vili, and Ve. And like we see in many mythologies, this younger generation rises up and kills Ymir, and his blood is so overflowing that it drowns all the other Jotnar, except for 2, Bergelmir and his wife, who escape on an ark and go on to beget the next race of Jotnar. Odin, Vili, and Ve, however, use the remains of Ymir to assemble the world that we live in. His skull becomes the ark of the sky, with sparks from Muspelheim as the stars. They set the goddesses of the sun and the moon, Sol and Mani, in motion by having a pair of wolves, Skol and Hati, chasing them. Ymir's brains are the clouds. His flesh becomes the land, and his blood becomes the seas. His bones are the mountains and rocks, and his hair is the forests. Maggots that are in his corpse become a race of dwarves who live within the earth, and in an area that is protected from the Jotnar, known as Midgard, the brothers create the first humans, Ask and Embla, who are created out of an ash tree and an elm tree. Odin gives them life, Vili gives them understanding and movement, and Ve gives them shape and senses. After that, Odin becomes the supreme god of these creator gods, known as the Aesir, and these gods would gather at the world ash tree, known as Yggdrasil, whose roots or branches extended into all the realms of creation, including the realm of the gods, known as Asgard. And the special bond between these gods and the human race was shown by the Bifrost Bridge between their realm and ours, that of course being the rainbow.